Hey there everyone, welcome to this video and welcome to a beauty series that we haven't updated in ages. I just realized that the Real Beauty Talk series is going really stale. I just haven't had the chance to think about that. If you are a long-time viewer of my channel, you may remember my Real Beauty Talk series of videos. And if you're new and you haven't been here and watched this yet, let me tell you what it's all about. Essentially, Real Beauty Talk is an opportunity and an invitation to you to talk about things about outer beauty sometimes, things about inner beauty sometimes. They could be a trend, it could be something that's just been floating in my mind, a revelation, a realization, a thought, a lingering thought. It could be a variety of things. In the past, I've covered topics like consumerism and false advertising in beauty. I've covered things like skin whitening and Asian culture. I've covered just a whole bunch of different things that come to mind sometimes when I'm sitting there and, reading a magazine and something pops into my head because, hey, I think it's important to have conversations about beauty, and I'm always really interested in your perspective on these topics. So today's topic was really inspired by my recent trips to Sephora, and I adore Sephora. I am in there probably more often than I should be. I usually go there just to browse and see what new products are out. I'll check online first, and if they're saying, new products, hey, I'll go into the store and swatch them and check them out. I was in there a couple times, and as always, I look for foundation because I'm a foundation junkie and I love it. And I love lipstick and I love false lashes, but those three things are my weaknesses. So I'm always looking at foundations. And I'm thinking, wow, these are really expensive nowadays. With the exception of a few things, most foundations in Sephora start at $50. A lot of them go up from there, $59, $60. I'm like, whoa, that is a lot to pay. I've always mentioned that I am really fortunate to be sent a lot of products from brands and PR. I have some connections who are very generous to send me products tryouts and possibly review or talk to about if I enjoy them and things like that. So I get a lot of stuff, but I still love shopping, and I still shop like the average person do. I shop in the drugstore, I shop high-end, I go in and browse new products. And I would do the same type of comparison as probably you would. I will look at the price point, I would look at ingredients, I will look at this compared to things I already have. Is it worth the money and stuff like that. And I've really been thinking about what are the real differences between high-end and low-end makeup. Something like that they sell in Sephora, Holtz, The Bay, Nordstrom, no S. I've learned that now. And also things you can buy at London Drug, Shoppers Drug Mart, Superstore, places like that. Or Drugstore and Walgreens for those of you who live down in the States. And I've come down to three main topics, or categories, should I say. The first one would have to be branding. Whenever you hear a name, a high-end brand name, I think it's reasonable and it's expected that you will be paying some of your money towards the brand. What does that mean? It means who are they hiring for their spokesmodel? What is kind of the packaging or the aesthetic, the design, the outer design of their products? And I know that there are brands who pay loads of money to hire the top designers to create the packaging for their products because they give you a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction and joy when you look at beautiful things. I think that's very reasonable to understand it that way. So part of it goes to that. Part of it goes to whether your powders, for example, are scented or not. Now, some people are sensitive to fragrances and that's not their thing. Well, a lot of people really enjoy the experience of opening your powder and just, being enveloped by the scent of the product, and that's part of the total experience. So I think when it comes to branding and experience, the high-end market does offer a lot, and it's very particular in looking at providing that total experience even before you put the product on your face, right? So that's for branding, and that could be anything from scents to textures to packaging, just the overall appeal of a product. Then we go into ingredients. And this section, I was really inspired by a woman I met, and I'm not going to name drop in this entire video. No names are mentioned, but this particular woman I met when she was introducing her high-end organic skincare range. And after our initial interview, I asked her some real deal questions. I said, look, natural products, a lot of it you can just find the ingredients in your Whole Foods, your nutrition shop. What makes your products worth the price? And why should people convert, shall we say, versus just buying a whole jug of it down at Whole Foods? And her answer really satisfied me. And she said, it comes down to the ingredients, how they're grown, how they're extracted, when they're harvested, how they are preserved, how they are mixed with the other ingredients that preserves their quality and their potency. And that goes into the luxury of the product that she sells, for example. And I think that does make a lot of sense. Now, in my personal life, I kind of divide between utilitarian products and my fancy products. For example, instead of summer, I have sunburn, I've been really naughty, I didn't put on my sunscreen. I'm going for some aloe vera. There's no point in me buying some high-end aloe vera gel with something or the other versus getting some simple 99% aloe vera from Shoppers. Or the aloe vera plant that's grown in the house, right? But it really depends on what it is. There are some skincare products or beauty products that contain ingredients that doesn't differ too much, whether they're high-end or low-end, and then there are certain special ingredients that do. Very sensitive particular ingredients that really need to be handled carefully to preserve the potency. And I think that is a certain separation between high and low end. But again, depends on what it is. If you've got ingredients like chamomile, oatmeal, aloe vera, I'm not terribly concerned about the quality, shall we say, of those ingredients, high-end versus low. Really depends on what you're using it for. The third category that comes to mind is really about performance. And this is a wild card. It can really go both ways. I've used some dead cheap products that are just great. And perform for the most part a good 3-4 hours, going out for a quick date, putting it on to photograph for a makeup look, totally fine. There's also been some high-end products, really expensive, that just sucked. They didn't apply well, they didn't sit well, it was weird, right? And this is really a 50-50. Some people really believe in the idea that you get what you pay for, but I do think a lot of what you pay for is the ingredients, if it's ingredient particular, or it's the packaging and the overall experience when you're using it. When it comes down to performance, things can go in any direction. Some of my favorite body care products, for example, are Drugstore, and they work really well. Now, some high-end products, in particular foundations, I have a lot of high-end, and eyeshadow have a lot more high-end. Those will come down to longevity, color match, right? FYI, why does the Drugstore have such terrible color spectrums for foundations? Like, is natural skin are natural skin color pigments more expensive than non-natural skin tone colors? I never understood that, why it was so hard to find a good foundation match in the Drugstore. There are a few, but not very many. And that's really unfortunate, because if they change that, then there's a lot more selection and their brand would be selling great for a lot of them. When it comes to things like lipstick, in my lipstick drawer, I'm a lipstick lover, I got a lot of them, and I have a lot of Drugstore lipsticks actually, and a lot of times I prefer the Drugstore to the high-end, depending on what the high-end is. I have a lot of mascaras. I pretty much use exclusively Drugstore mascara. I just think they perform well. I always need waterproof. It, checks all the boxes, and it's great. So performance can go either way. And for me, all three things combined together, the branding, the ingredients, the performance, I think the most important part comes down to experience. If the two products perform exactly the same, would you go for the one that is scented, that has a beautiful packaging, that sits nicely on your vanity, that has a beautiful texture? Or are you utilitarian? I think it comes down to the person using it. Some people care and some people really don't. So I would love to hear your thoughts. Number one, on the price of makeup nowadays. FYI, I went to the drugstore looking to buy a particular foundation that was newly released. And I actually went to a drugstore that sells a little bit lower than the average price. $25 for a drugstore foundation. Not happy about that. Did it perform well? Yes, really great. I use it all the time. But if this product was sold in Sephora, I would say it's a total steal, excellent. But it's the fact that I have an idea of drugstore, which is about $10 or so per product, and that's pushing it. And products nowadays are selling easily for 15, 20, $25. That's a lot for drugstore. It's really, a lot of things are really changing. And I want to know how you feel about that, the price of makeup nowadays. How do you feel about branding? Do you care about the brand? Do you care about having that nice looking thing on your vanity? You know, does it appeal to you? Or are you really just utilitarian? You care about the performance, you care about the ingredients. What do you think about ingredients when it comes to high and low end products? I would just love to know, because I've been thinking about all these things up in my head. So again, this is an invitation to a conversation. So leave me comments down below. I would of course reply back to you when I got the time. So really looking forward to your thoughts and your experiences, and I will talk to you again next time. Take care. Bye.